aftercare of the budded and grafted plants is very important. A farmer has to ensure that his or her budded and grafted plants are placed under a shade net and given enough water to irrigate.
Now this one was done about 1 month ago, and you can see the bud has already started growing, and the tie was above and below, and the particular point where we have the bud, you can see it has started growing. And even if you manhandle this one, it doesn't come out because the union has already been formed. The two have united.
The third method, musheting, is also known as layering. Layering is where a healthy grown fruit tree branch is introduced to various rooting hormones to bring forth roots from the branch. The difference between layering, grafting and budding is the method. While grafting will take a young branch and budding will take a small single bud, layering will take a grown tree and make it grow roots, after which it will be cut and planted on its own. For this, Charles has his set of equipment unique to the job to do it, which includes a knife, a pruning saw, an aluminium foil, medium, water and soil.
The last method of propagation we are going to talk about is marcoting, and marcoting is also called air layering. What it means is that we are going to induce rooting at the stem of this plant, which happens to be a lemon plant. This is soil that has been, it has 1 part manure and 3 parts topsoil.
The first step indeed is to make the medium as Charles has shared. The second step is to make a clean cut around the area where the rooting hormones are going to be introduced. This is the area where roots are going to emerge from.
Once it is off, like you can see it's completely off, we want to make sure that this particular part is cleaned thoroughly so that we don't have any transmission of food from the lower part to the upper part.
The third step is to introduce the rooting hormones after peeling off the bark. Rooting hormones, as Charles explains, are many.
We use aloe vera because in aloe vera we have hormones which are able to induce rooting in plants. We scrape off the outer green layer and then we remain with the white part, and it is from this white part that we are going to get the gel, and we simply rub it onto the part where we remove the bark. You can see the gel is flowing off. Then there we are, we have applied a natural rooting hormone. If you don't have aloe vera, there are certain things that you can use. For example, you can use cinnamon from the market. You just go to the supermarket and buy it. The cinnamon has a rooting hormone. You can use honey, albeit they work differently. Honey works by inhibiting pathogens from getting into the cut. So it's not actually a rooting hormone, but it works differently to enhance rooting.
The fourth step is to introduce the medium. The medium includes a percentage of manure and forest soil.
We want to make sure that this material, the rooting media, is in contact with the part that we have removed the bark and treated with the rooting hormone. We will need a string to tie it, so that string will be good enough. Cut it, then put it below there, then make a tie. Then we bring our media and make sure that it is in contact with the part where we made the incision. Then we bring our rope, we make sure that we have a very tight, we make sure it is very tight so that when our roots are finally coming, they will be in contact with our media. Once we do this, usually there is a tendency of some algae to start growing. So in order to prevent the algae from growing, we use a material that is not transparent. This is just a cling foil, and we cover so that the media is not transparent. Then we can just have a loose tying now, not very tight like in the former case. Just a loose tie so that the film can be retained there. And then we are done. This will form roots within about 2 months to 3 months, depending on how favorable the conditions are. But on this other side, we have one which was done 2 months ago, and it has already produced the roots.
After 2 months, as Charles has explained, he will check if this layered branch is ready for planting. He will cut this part and plant it into the black sack of soil. He will also irrigate the planted tree to ensure that it starts its feeding regime properly. He will water this at least twice daily.
Actually, you should time this operation so that you do it during the rainy season. That is just good enough. You can do marketing for citrus, all varieties. You can do marketing in mangoes. You can do marketing in avocados. You can do marketing in several other fruit crops. One of the biggest benefits that I can think of for marketing is you establish your plantation or plant very quickly. For example, this one, when it finally forms the roots, then it means within the same year you'll be able to harvest your some citrus, in this case lemon, from the same operation that you have done today. So it is a very quick way of getting your crops into production. Sometimes the other alternative could be grafting, but when you do grafting, sometimes there is a failed union. So as much as you have plant taking off, within a few days or years, you find the union does not work very well. So you don't have a very good production. But in marketing, you have the same plant, only you have induced the roots to come out, and within a very short time, you have your fruits coming out. We could be checking from 2 months, and then when we realize that the roots have formed well enough, we should be seeing a lot of roots here and there, then at that point you actually remove the foil and actually also detach the plant at this particular point and you plant it elsewhere. When you are planting, you should first of all plant it in a bag so that you give it some care for about 1 to 2 months. Then it will form more roots now into the actual soil, which is a lot. This one is very little. Then within a month or two, then now you can take it to the main field where you want it to grow.
Many farmers, such as this man, like what Charles does in this community. Whenever it is planting season, they all flock to this nursery where Charles keeps his grafted seedlings. Today, this customer has come to buy the grafted miniol seedling and apple mango that Charles grafted just a few weeks ago.
The market is usually basically farmers who are yearning for establishment of their orchards wherever they are. And in this country, we don't have so many people doing this. So we have walk-in customers, but occasionally we also carry whatever we have propagated to the markets and the farmers buy them. That will depend on the size of the plant. If it for smaller ones, the least that we sell is 150 shillings, but big ones can go as much as 1,000 shillings, 2,000 shillings, depending on what level it is being bought. Sometimes we have customers buying when they're already fruiting, so at that will attract the highest price. Some of the challenges we have faced in this is, in order to do this, you need experienced manpower. And many times when you have people doing this, they come in, they are green, they don't know what to do, you teach them, and the initial marketing that they do does not take off very well. And the other challenge is that after you train somebody, within a short time he has learned ways of making money, so there's no need of working for you. He can go and do it for himself. So the turnover of workers is really a big challenge. The benefits that we have associated with this is that many people, once they see where we have established our own, many people are keen on buying the plants that have been propagated through marketing.
Charles urges every aspiring and current farmer to take up the mantle and grow their agribusiness venture.
If you have your orchard, then you are not complete before you learn various ways by which you can do your propagation of the fruit crops. However, for those who may not have the knowledge, we are available in Kisumu County, and we are offering services for training those who would be interested in doing plant propagation. My contact is 0721 280 907. You can also reach us on our Facebook page, Mixer Foods and Beverages.
Farmers are advised to start with 50 fruit trees so as to see the benefits of fruit farming in Kenya properly. That's it for today's fresh and fruity show. Share your feedback on our SMS platform 22071 and on our social media page, Farm Kenya.